Okay, finally cooling down here in North Carolina in the summer a little bit. Don't have to sweat to death after work quite so bad. I wanted to give a little update on the Wunderlich, or Wunderlich, however you're supposed to say it, seat height adjusters. Got me a Wunderlich seat in a low. Really liking it so far. I had a Sargent before on my V-Strom, which was comfortable, but it was very soft. I come from a big time, pretty bicycle intensive background for the last 30 years, so I'm kind of used to a firm seat. I like this seat for that. It's firm, supportive, doesn't get hot. That part really does work. They tell you that it won't get as hot in the summertime. I would say I got this seat, I think early summer. I can't remember when I bought it from Wunderlich. Maybe it was May. I can't remember. I was on a trip and bought it. You know what? It was in June. I bought it on a trip to Georgia and then took it to Georgia and rode it. Good seat. So I got maybe 2,000 miles on it now. It's probably not that much. I haven't ridden as much this summer. It's just been so darn hot. Anyway, so anytime you're, dialing in your seat, you're trying to get your adjustment correct. So I had bought the Wunderlich seat height adjuster pieces. Let's see if I can show you here. Yeah, this is not really working. I'm gonna set the camera down for just a second. Alrighty. So just taking the back off real quick. So, one thing a lot of people will do, especially if you're shorter like I am, you buy the seat adjusters to put them on the plate and rotate them for low. Some people will, you'll hear some people say that they feel like they can slide forward on the seat. So they will set the front adjustment here in the high position and then the rear in the low position, which would kind of cant your seat when you're on the motorcycle more like that instead of maybe level. So I wanted to experiment with this, but I didn't really like the full high. So here's you kind of an in-between. So if you buy the Wunderlich offset pieces, I'll take them off the bike here. If you buy the offset, you really actually kind of give yourself, let's see here, you have 4 positions stock, and you kind of can add 2 more positions with the bumpers. So the bumpers in the low, these are not obviously in the correct position. In the low, you would generally have the plate like so, and you would have the adjuster rotated like that, which would allow it to be lower. But what I did, because I wanted to try the cant, is I put them on the high and then rotated them down. So it actually dropped what would be the standard BMW high by the 10 millimeters or whatever they say. So instead of having a more pronounced angle back, I kind of got a middle of low and high using the bumpers. And I just store the old bumpers back here in case I ever want to change back. Just kind of a neat little in-between kind of thing you can do with the Wunderlich adapters. So everything fits just like it normally would. So you've really got, I want to run the Wunderlich in the low in the front and the low BMW OEM in the back, which would actually should tilt the seat down just a little bit, because I think low factory, or excuse me, low OEM and low OEM would be pretty level. So the Wunderlich is going to drop the front to give you that little bit of standover. And then your next setting would be high OEM. And then you will hear people talk about, hey, I want to run high front, low rear in the OEM position, And so what I've kind of discovered is that now, so that gives you one position, two position, or excuse me, Wunderlich low, OEM high, and then you can do, a lot of people will talk about, they do that in between where they do a high, OEM front high and OEM rear low. I'm saying you can give yourself, I guess it's actually 5 options. Wunderlich high, abbreviated, which would kind of be like, you know, between your OEM low and your OEM high. We got a Wunderlich low, or excuse me, Wunderlich mounted on the plate in the high position, but it's actually rotated down, so it's lower than the high position with an OEM low. Kind of give you an abbreviated middle road there. So, kind of interesting. Just another adjustable thing. So the Wunderlich can actually kind of give you a few more options, maybe than even what you bought them for, is what I'm trying to explain. Is that, you know, I think a lot of times people, you know, don't think about how good their gear can be, you know, what all it can do, you know. Here's a whole nother option, you know what I mean? Here's a whole nother way. And actually when I did this on the Wunderlich, with a little bit of tilt back with the rear seat in the forward position, I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it at the moment because I got the seat back on in the wrong spot. Let's see, here we go. Like so, you get the rear seat right up against you, so when you're sitting on the bike, you're really kind of pushed in there. You're kind of cupped in there. So I'm gonna ride it like this a little bit and give it a shot. So if you got any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks guys, enjoy the ride.